Welcome to Wealthfinity, the channel where we explore the world of personal finance and investment strategies. Today, we will be diving into a topic that affects not only the United States but the entire world, the U.S. military budget. The amount of money spent on defense by the U.S. government is staggering, but what is the real cost of this military spending? Is it a necessary expense or a burden on the economy and the taxpayers? In this video, we will uncover the shocking truth about the U.S. budget military, examining the impact it has on national debt, social programs, and global relations. Join us as we take a critical look at this controversial issue and shed light on the facts that are often obscured from the public eye. The United States military budget is the largest in the world, with a proposed budget of $715 billion for the fiscal year 2022. This budget supports the U.S. military's operations, infrastructure, research and development, and personnel costs. The impact of this budget is significant, and it affects not only the military but also the economy and society as a whole. Components of the U.S. military budget. The U.S. military budget includes funding for the Department of Defense, the Department of Homeland Security, and other government agencies involved in national security. The Department of Defense receives the majority of the budget, with $715 billion allocated for 2023. This funding is used to pay for the salaries of military personnel, equipment, and operations. The Department of Homeland Security receives $27 billion, which is used to fund agencies such as the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and the U.S. Coast Guard. The budget also includes funding for the Department of Energy, which is responsible for maintaining the U.S. nuclear weapons stockpile. Debates surrounding the U.S. military budget. The U.S. military budget is a controversial topic, with advocates on both sides of the issue. Supporters of the budget argue that it is necessary to maintain a strong military presence to protect U.S. interests and allies. They also argue that military spending creates jobs and stimulates the economy. Opponents of the budget argue that it is excessive and wasteful. They argue that the U.S. spends more on defense than the next 10 countries combined and that the budget should be reduced to free up funds for other priorities such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure. The future of the U.S. military budget. The future of the U.S. military budget is uncertain. Some analysts predict that the budget will continue to increase in the coming years, while others believe that it will be reduced as the U.S. shifts its focus to domestic priorities. In recent years, there has been growing concern about the national debt and the sustainability of U.S. government spending. As a result, some policymakers have called for cuts to the military budget to reduce the deficit. One of the most immediate impacts of the military budget is on the defense industry. The United States is home to some of the largest defense contractors in the world, such as Lockheed Martin and Boeing. These companies rely heavily on military contracts to fund their operations, and a decrease in military spending could lead to layoffs and a reduction in research and development. On the other hand, an increase in military spending can lead to job growth and increased revenue for these companies. Another impact of the military budget is on the overall economy. The military is a significant purchaser of goods and services, and military contracts can create jobs in various industries, from manufacturing to technology. A reduction in military spending could lead to a decrease in economic activity, while an increase could stimulate economic growth. However, the impact of military spending on the economy is not always positive. Some argue that military spending diverts resources away from other areas that could benefit society, such as education and healthcare. Additionally, some research suggests that military spending has a lower economic multiplier than spending on other sectors. In other words, each dollar spent on the military may not have as significant an impact on the economy as a dollar spent on other sectors. The military budget also has significant social impacts. Military spending has been linked to higher rates of poverty, particularly in communities with a high concentration of military personnel. Some argue that this is due to the military's emphasis on recruiting from low-income areas, as well as the high levels of military spending that can lead to cuts in social programs that support these communities. Moreover, the military budget has significant geopolitical implications. The United States military dominance is a significant factor in global politics and can affect international relations. The United States military presence and actions can have significant effects on other countries' economies, security, and political stability. Another impact of the military budget is on innovation and technological advancement. Military spending often drives technological innovation, as defense contractors work on developing new weapon systems, vehicles, and other military equipment. These advancements can have spillover effects on other industries, such as aerospace and telecommunications, leading to new products and services that can benefit society as a whole. The impact of the U.S. military budget is complex and multifaceted. It affects the defense industry, the economy, society, global politics, innovation, the environment, and ethics. While military spending can have positive effects, it is important to consider the negative consequences and to ensure that resources are being used in the most effective and ethical way possible. As with any policy decision, a balanced approach that takes into account all the factors involved is necessary to make informed and responsible choices. In conclusion, The Shocking Truth About U.S. Budget Military is a thought-provoking video that sheds light on the astronomical amount of money spent on the U.S. military. The video highlights the exorbitant costs associated with maintaining the largest military force in the world, and how this impacts the country's economy and other crucial sectors such as healthcare and education. Ultimately, The Shocking Truth About U.S. Budget Military prompts viewers to consider the broader implications of the country's military spending and to engage in a critical dialogue about how best to allocate the government's resources in a way that benefits all citizens.